Thanks for stopping by. Aquarius, this is your August 2020 tarot reading. Aquarius, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would. Hit the subscribe button below. If this video resonates, please hit the thumbs up. Okay, so Aquarius, as I was meditating on your energy, I suddenly, this is so odd, I started to smell food. And I had this image of someone cooking a beautiful meal. And they were cooking a beautiful meal for you. And so what came through for me, Aquarius, was nourishment. That you need to be nourishing yourself this August in all of the ways in which you do that, whether that is eating really good food, preparing your own meals, putting love into whatever you prepare. If it is listening to, tuning out some of the news, limiting your exposure to news right now, and nourishing yourself with something that is more supportive of you, be that meditations, podcasts, good friends, music that really lifts you, whatever practices you have that lift your spirit and really nourish your soul. Spirit is asking that you engage in those practices this August. It was very, very clear that that is going to be important for you for the month. Okay, so let's see what else what the cards might have to add to that, Aquarius. So, spirits, angels, guides, any medicine for Aquarius for August 2020. What messages do you have for Aquarius for August 2020? Angels, spirits, guides. What messages do you have for our Aquarius friends for August 2020? Messages for Aquarius for August 2020. Angels, spirits, guides. Cards are having a tough time talking. It's so humid here. There's the one. Okay. It's so humid here that my cards get really sticky. Angels, spirits, guides, messages for Aquarius for August 2020. Yeah. Angels, spirits, guides. Ooh, messages for Aquarius for August 2020. What medicine do you have for Aquarius for August 2020? Okay. Note that. Yes, here. Okay. One more card for Aquarius for August 2020. Angels, spirits, guides. Okay. Okay. Okay, first card up is the Six of Swords. So this is a card of movement from choppy waters into calmer waters. This can speak to the mind space, right? It's swords, so it does speak to the mind space. So perhaps there's been a lot of mental chatter, which may be why the message, the meditation is about seeking out those things that nourish you. But it looks like as the month opens, or at some point during August, what is on offer here for you is to engage in those practices that calm and quiet the mind so that you can move from choppy waters into much calmer internal mental space, right? Because only from a place of calm mental space can we make good, sound, wise decisions. Next card up, Hierophant. This is major arcana. It's a 5. 5 is a bit of a contracted energy. The Hierophant speaks to institutions, structures, government, the law. So this is around maybe feeling constrained by authority, by the chaos that we are experiencing, certainly in this country at this time, and to a certain extent globally. There may be certain structures in your life that feel too restrictive, or maybe not restrictive enough. Maybe you've lost some sense of structure, and that is sort of wreaking havoc with your emotional state, your mental state. Or the exact opposite, too much structure, too much governmental chaos. Maybe you're engaged in a legal battle of some sort. But this speaks to the structures of the society in which we live. It's the energy of Taurus. It's fixed earth. It doesn't give, right? The rules and laws are the rules and the laws. And if you're an Aquarian, so this can be a little bit difficult for you to engage with. Authority figures, laws, having to abide by certain things. Perhaps lockdown has proven to be like enough already, because you're much more expansive than our current environment is allowing for. And so, this may feel like the walls are closing in, and perhaps it has led to you not doing those things that are really nourishing for you. We're followed by the 2 of Swords, being of two minds of something, taking a moment to go internal. See, she's blindfolded. So that is about needing to maybe go into some meditation, go into a quiet space, and make your mind up, make a decision one way or another about something. There is, you're an air sign. There's a lot of swords on the table because you are an intellectual sign, you're a mental sign, you process intellectually. You don't tend to process through your feelings, you tend to process through your thoughts. And so there is something here around needing to make a decision. Maybe you're in the choppy waters now and you're needing to make a decision about how to get out of that and move on to calmer waters in the mind, move on to a calmer mental space. And it could be around battling some societal structure, some lawsuit, something around limitations. The Hierophant can really speak to limitations, especially if you're not someone who likes to follow rules, okay? But there is some decision that you're being faced with in August that you need to make. And it has you feeling a bit embattled. The 7 of Wands can feel very defensive. You could be taking a defensive stance around something, perhaps around structure, perhaps around some rule or law that has come down, something that you are being expected to abide by, you maybe don't agree with, and it is requiring you to have to maybe fight back some, or it doesn't require that, but internally you feel like you need to fight back against something, defend your position in some way. Yeah, there's a lot of not quite, you're not in agreement with something. As August unfolds, I think for you, Aquarius, there's something here around structures. What I really feel is that there is something in place or something attempting to be put in place that affects you. And you have a real opinion about that. And you have a decision to make. And it might have you feeling a bit defended, a bit in need of having to speak your truth about something. But the guidance on offer here, I think this is guidance for you, is the Queen of Wands. Now, the queens are much more receptive energy. They're more feminine, they're more watery, emotional. But the Queen of Wands speaks to an energy of witchiness, you know. This is an energy of people engaged in what can be seen as more alternative healing modalities. This can be someone who's engaged in tarot, meditation, Reiki, some things that are more mainstream, but that by some people's views, certainly by the Hierophant's views, might be considered a little bit more alternative. I think the message on offer, the medicine, if you will, on offer for you for August is to engage with this part of yourself as you are faced with these more societal structure, traditional boundaries and limitations, to engage with this part of yourself that is a little more magical, a little more off the beaten path, a little less traditional and more alternative. Because I think within those processes, within those modalities, you find your strength, you find your way around, if you will. You're able to tap, when you tap into this energy of knowing the way forward, blazing your own trail. When you do that, not only are you much more engaged and in tune with who you are at your core, because she speaks to who an Aquarius really is at his or her core, which is this much more draw towards the non-ordinary. When you engage her, you get the Six of Pentacles, which is sort of an equal give and receive. I think you will be, instead of going in, balls to the walls and fighting this and being defensive and no, this is how it's going to be. I think when you engage those practices that work for you, whether you need to engage it in a way that this is the way you approach others, or you just nourish yourself. You nourish yourself with your practices that get you in better alignment with who you are, perhaps by nature, by just natural progression of things. You find a more balanced, you're able to approach people in a more balanced manner, and they are able to hear you and receive you in a more balanced way. And it seems that you do in fact get what you are looking for. You get the outcome you want by nourishing yourself with all of the practices that speak to you. You know, you may have gotten a little bit away from this. I'm finding in these readings and in my work, talking to people, that many of us have sort of fallen away from our tried and true practices as lockdown has lingered, as life has become altered, and now we are faced with almost half a year of a very different reality. And so you could have lost your momentum around those practices that have always proven to nourish you at your core. And so August is saying, hey, you need to re-engage with those practices. Don't get engaged in the fight, okay? Don't get triggered into engaging in the fight. In what feels like limits, right? You may start to see that, oh, no, this is starting to feel very claustrophobic and very limited, and there's too much engagement with the outside world and all of this, the no's and the laws and all of that has maybe destabilized you a bit. So in August, I want you to just re-engage with every practice you know. You are very well versed in your practices that nourish you, more so probably than many other signs. So it's just about remembering that and re-engaging. And when you do, I think you find your environment much more hospitable, much more give and take, much more equanimity. Okay. How beautiful. You have it all. Your two-belt Aquarius is overflowing with these ways of progressing through. You just have to remember and get back engaged with them is all I see here. And that's all that Spirit is saying for you. You have everything you need. You just have to pick it back up again. That's all. So I think that August is going to be actually quite beautiful for you, because what's not beautiful about being nourished all over again? Wonderful. Thanks for stopping by, Aquarius. If you'd like a private session or reading with me, I will leave all of my information in the description box below. Thanks for stopping by.